Good morning. Welcome to you in the online class of Prabhutara. Today, in this session, I am going to teach you a poem. The name of the poem is The Ball Poem. The Ball Poem. This poem has been composed by John Berryman. You must know about the poet John Allen, and full name is Alfin Berryman. His full name is Alfin Berryman, was an American poet and scholar. He was born on 25th October 1914 in Alcester, Oklahoma, in the United States of America. He was married to Kate Donahue in 1961. He was educated at Clare College, Columbia University. The Dream Songs, 77 Dream Songs, and Berryman's Shakespeare's are some of his famous works. He was awarded Pulitzer Award Prize for Poetry in 1969. He died on 7th January 1972. So this is about the poet. Now, a boy loses a ball. He is very upset. A ball does not cost much, nor is it difficult to buy another ball. Why then the boy so upset? Read the poem to see what the poet thinks has been lost and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. So first let us take first stanza. First stanza here. What is the boy? What is the boy now? What is the boy now who has lost his ball? Who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. Bouncing means jumping over. Street means narrow path. Merrily means happily. Okay. So in only four stanza, what is the boy now from that and merrily over, there it is only four lines. In four lines the poet wants to tell you the poet sees a boy. The poet sees a boy playing with a ball. Then the boy loses his ball, and the poet asks, what should the boy be feeling now? He asks, what will the boy do now? He saw the ball bouncing merrily and going down the street, and now in the same way it has fallen into the water and lost forever. Now, second stanza, no use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. His ball went. So after four lines, his ball went. That is the after, and I would not intrude on him. Yeah, in four lines. In this four line, ultimate means final. Sucking means trembling. Grief means sorrow. Fixes means overpowers. Rigid means unmoved. Trembling means shivering. Staring means looking keenly. And young days, childhood days. And harbor, that is a place where ships load and unload goods. So in this four lines the poet is telling there is no use of consoling the boy. He cannot be consoled if he is offered other balls in place of the lost ball. Finally, a deep grief overpowers the boy. He stands shaking there without leaving the place. Standing there, he stares down the place where the ball has disappeared in the water of the harbor. The loss of the ball, the loss of the ball in Harvard reminds him of the childhood days which have been lost in the harbor of life. Now, take another four lines. A dime another, a a dime another from take before line. I would not introduce on him. I would not introduce him. I dime another ball is worthless now. He senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. Introduce means encroach. A dime, D-I-M-E, dime, that means very cheap, sasta. And worthless means useless. Senses means considers. Responsibility means sense of duty. World of possessions means world where people are busy in possessing things. So in four lines from I would not introduce on lines and in the world of possessions in four lines, the poet does not want to intervene or console the boy. He will not tell the boy that the ball he had lost cost almost nothing. He will not console him by saying that he can buy another ball quite easily. Now, good sense prevails over the boy. He knows that in this world, people are always running after acquiring and owning things. He realizes what is his first responsibility in such a world. Now, take another four. People will take balls. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Money is eternal. Yes, this from people to money is eternal. The poet is telling. The poet wants to tell buying and losing continues throughout our life. People will always buy such balls, and the balls they buy will continue to be lost. Once a ball has been lost, it is a lost ball again. Money is totally external to our inner feelings. Money cannot compensate our emotional losses. Similarly, the childhood that we have lost forever cannot be bought back with money. So, now four lines again. He is learning. Well. He is learning well. Behind his disparate eyes, the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know and must know many days how to stand up. Yeah, in the last four lines, he is from he is learning to how to stand up. Behind means backward, disparate means hopeless, epistemology, that means knowledge, gyan. Epistemology of loss, that means understanding the nature of loss. That means नुकसान के स्वभाव के बारे में समझना. In last four lines, the poet is telling the boy with his hopeless eyes is beginning to learn the nature of loss. He is learning what it means to lose something. He has to learn how to come over the loss and stand up again in life. He has to learn this basic principle of life which every man of the world has to learn. He must learn how to bear the pangs of loss of his childhood. He has to move ahead in life, forgetting the loss of his childhood. So, very good poetry composed by John Berryman, and in this poetry, John Berryman wants to tell wholly idea of the poem is the ball poem looks like a simple story of a young boy losing his ball. The boy is severely upset over the loss. Normally, it may seem like a great overreaction. Children lose things as their toys and balls quite often. Usually, no fuss should be made about such a small thing, but the ball seems to be symbolizing the poet's childhood. The boy becoming an adult loses his childhood. He was clinging on to his childhood for so long. The poet accepts the changes in his life. Although he is still suffering, yet he is learning to move on from his fleeting childhood. The true theme of the poem is that we should cherish every moment of life. Life is really very short. The poet realized that it is very difficult to deal with the loss, but it must be done. We should move on as there is no use in wasting precious time and life. This is the poetry, this is the summary of the poem. Now you have to do working with the poem. Answer solutions available on Google Classroom. You will go for it and write in your fair copy and upload in the evening. That's it. Okay.